We have a $100 anonymous donation. It says, "Hey everyone, thank you so much for helping me procrastinate with entertaining runs for a good cause. My finals start the day after tomorrow, and I'm not getting anything done in these last few hours I got. You guys continue to do your awesome work. All the best from Switzerland." We have a $50 donation from Sebastian. "Been watching your marathons for quite some time now, but first time donating. All of you are so awesome for doing this. Thanks." Thank you, Sebastian. How about we get a roll call on the couch?
Scott J. Brogan.
Stevie Barber. Nick Richter.
And Zellard one.
So the exact totals were, speedrun had $390 and high score run had $1,801.
Yeah. Excellent. High score is a really interesting category.
Correct.
Hopefully this should be a good show. You can start time whenever. I mean, there's the score run, dude. So, yeah. So, the way scoring works in this game is you have, let's say there's a group of 2 enemies in front of you. You can kill them with either charges, lasers, or bombs. If you kill them with lasers or bombs, you're going to get 2 points. 2 ships, 2 points, nothing special. But if you kill them with a charge shot, particularly a locked one, you're going to get the 2 points for the physical ships and a hit +1. The hit +1 is the bonus point, and that's determined by the charge shot that you shoot. So the charge shot directly impacts one of the enemies, and the splash kills the other one. And the splash is what determines everything. So the way you want to go about this optimally is intentionally miss with charge shots, and that's easier said than done. So right away, you might notice that my lock-ons are not locking on. The reason for that is I'm holding R and Z, and when you hold R and Z, the charge does not actually lock onto anything. I'm also making the... oh, I think I got away. It's all right.
Thanks, Slippy.
So right now I'm using the terrain to my advantage. I'm going to be doing that a lot. Also, the charge will detonate by itself when it reaches a certain distance. And that's going to be particularly useful in stages where there's not very much terrain, particularly Sector Y. And that's going to be next. So I'm going through a bunch of arches on the sides to spawn more enemies. And that will... There's just so many enemies when you do that. And the base, you might notice I got a bunch of hit +1s off of the mechs after it was dead. The mechs are actually still flagged as enemies despite being dead. So I can get hit +1s off of them pretty much while I'm on the screen. So just for reference, the medal for this stage is 150, and that's like the ultimate goal that you want, and I almost have it, and I barely reached the checkpoint.
I'll take this. Get the one behind me. Something's wrong with the AGDQ.
So how many charge shots do you have on screen at once?
You can have one charge shot on screen at once. So you need to be really mindful of that.
I could use
That's
I
good.
guess I should be thankful.
So I'm kind of indecisive, so I want both of these items.
Do a barrel roll.
So why are we not playing on expert mode, Salad?
That's because I'm going to do really risky strats later on that you're going to see, particularly in Area 6. I'm going to be pretty much crashing through a bunch of stuff while getting a bunch of points. We'll get to that later, though.
Pretty smooth flying, Fox.
So I'm going to be going to Sector Y. And you need to do that, you need to go through these 7 arches and have Falco alive. So there's going to be a fork coming up right here. I'm going to get enemies on both sides with a lock bomb. I'm going to boost over here so that the enemies on the other side spawn. So I'm getting like pretty much all the points on both sides.
Time for a little paint. Back off, Fox.
Also, there are these like guys underground. You can get the +1s off of them frequently when they're underground. When they go up, then you can kill them. You can get 2 points that way. Not bad. So I almost got double the medal.
Incoming enemy from the
So there's
rear.
not too much to this boss, just shoot it, I guess.
An interesting thing in the speedrunning areas of this game is when you're entering this particular boss's area, what you normally want to do is you want to enter CF, which is your cockpit mode, and you want to move your R-wing all the way to the corner of the screen. This reduces lag and saves a little bit of time, and you also want to do that when you exit the boss as well.
Yeah, it's working. Who are you guys? We're Star Fox. You'll never defeat Android.
Alright, so Sector Y it's a really challenging stage to optimize because there are a lot of groups located in space. Basically, you need the charges to detonate around them, so you have to be really good at the charge distance, I guess.
All
Call it.
aircraft report.
There are actually a lot of groups where you need to have the charge to kill them because you can't kill them with lasers or well, actually you could kill them with bombs, but it's not optimal
Okay, over there, Fox.
because you only get there's going to be like little white missiles basically. The missiles are really difficult to hit unless you use charges and bombs, I guess.
We have a $20 donation from Xavier, aka Mr. MV. We are back, not without technical difficulties, but glad that the French and German kept giving no matter what. Great job, guys.
Back up the squadron. Somebody's gonna pay for all this.
So you'll notice sometimes I get points off of the death animation of certain enemies, particularly these mechs. You can get pretty much points off of them as long as they're, dying. You're gonna see that in Aquas too.
Surprise attack coming from above. Hold it, they're trying to get through.
So I'm gonna do a somersault here because there are actually a bunch of missiles on the left and right of this ship. So I want to get them with charges. Let's see. I got that one. That one's really hard to get because you can't see anything over there. So if I weren't going in expert, or if I were using expert mode, that would be really costly, but
For those who don't know, in expert mode, if you crash into something with your R-wing, you immediately lose your wings. And that's very, very dangerous because that puts you down at single lasers. And it's not really optimal for killing bosses fast and, for the most part, just getting as many points as you can. Even though, for the most part, you do use charge shots, it still, however, is very, very costly.
So yeah, I got well over the medal when I just reached the halfway mark. That's going to happen pretty much in a lot of stages.
We have a $200 donation from Delius. Both my grandfathers have survived prostate cancer. Thanks all of you for helping others with this cause. Let's get the Borderland 2 guys all dressed up.
So you may have noticed that my charges were going at a really weird angle. That's because the stage is scrolling in a really strange way. Your lasers actually go straight forward, but your charges go at this really weird downward angle, and it makes it really difficult to shoot. There we go.
Take him down with one shot. We're gonna break through that lead. You're becoming a better pilot. Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side. Location confirmed. Sending supply.
Not bad.
Something's up ahead. Looks different.
All range closed.
So I'm going to try to kill this boss fast. I actually have an extra bomb. So I'm going to kill these two robots. They're pretty easy. There's another robot that comes later that I'd like to shoot a bomb at him, such that the bomb is in his hitbox, basically. If he's drifting through it, then it deals like max damage. So ideally, I'd like that to happen.
It's time to try our new weapon.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Got it. So I might as well start talking about Aquas now, because there's a lot to talk about with that stage. So Aquas here in the Blue Marine. The Blue Marine is a submarine vehicle that has torpedoes instead of charges and bombs. Torpedoes have a different style to them, I guess. You don't have to hold A to charge your torpedoes at all like you would with charge shots, but they still have the same properties as charge shots, so I can use them in the same way that I've been using charge shots before. The advantage is I only have to use one button to do that now. So there's going to be a lot of really unusual point gaining strats in this stage. Yeah.
Do you want assistance?
For what?
With the pillars?
No. So basically, if you mash really fast, you get a lot more points. You'll see why. This is really dark.
I'm gonna check out the bioweapon.
This is an incredibly difficult stage to see on certain TVs. This isn't too bad, though. Okay. All right, so the way that works is that clam has an enemy inside it, and pretty much its death animation similar to the mechs in the previous stage. You can get points off of it. You won't get points off of it from this clam because it has an item in it, and also empty clams don't do that either.
Sending the data to you guys.
So it's only clams that have enemies in them.
Shoot a torpedo to help you see.
Sometimes fish will block your way, and they'll give you an extra point every once in a while, but it's really rare. Random based.
Like the solution is started.
Okay. It's fine though. Yes, that was really good. So you can clip through that rock in two different ways, the front and the back. The back one was found by a guy named Bros 1987, I believe. So shout out to Bros. This is a pretty good place.
Wow! Look at that! It's beautiful!
All right, so pillars, there are two types of pillars in this stage, destructible and indestructible. Destructible ones have the same properties as mechs, so I can do this.
How's the blue marine, Fox?
So the reason that works is the entire object is flagged as an enemy, including the base of it. Nice, I clipped through the base. That's really hard to do.
Whoa! Watch out!
Do a barrel roll.
If you can do that, you can actually get a lot more points that way. It's really tough to do it on every single one of them, though. That should do it. So that squid has a lot of hit points, so I just did that until the splash killed him. Oh yeah, by the way, the seaweed, you may have noticed I'm shooting the seaweed at very particular spots. That's because the seaweed has no like collision detection, so you can't crash into it. But it seems to stop your shots anyway, so it's incredibly useful for score.
We do that on fish that pass by too, but
We've got lots of
it's kind of
torpedoes.
random.
Yeah.
You're the fifth, Flippy.
Thanks, Peppy.
This thing will never hold together.
There we go. That second point's pretty tough to get. So I'm actually not getting points off the jellyfish, if you're wondering that. I just use it as an object, basically, so that the splash will hurt the jellyfish. For every time the splash hurts the starfish, you get points.
Watch out, Fox!
So I go through that arch on the right because it spawns a bunch of enemies over there, and they're going to home into me. So I'm going to get a bunch of points off of this one.
I found the bioweapon.
Alright. So this clam is, I don't know. You can get 12 points off of the three, I guess you'd call them barnacles on the top. They're worth 4 points each. I want to do that before I blow up the pillars, the muscle pillars on the clam. Because otherwise then I get rid of them.
Fire a homing torpedo!
That's it, Fox.
So you constantly have to play this game where you have to shoot the pearls out of the way. It can be really challenging sometimes because it'll just constantly spew them out randomly.
You did it!
So the next stage is Zonus, and the main thing about Zonus is the searchlights. So there are a bunch of searchlights that you're supposed to shoot down to go to Sector Z, but considering this is a score run, I don't really want to go to Sector Z. Sector Z is a pretty terrible stage in a lot of aspects, especially score. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get caught by one of the lights intentionally. And the reason for that is the stage retaliates by sending a bunch of extra boats your way, and that's worth a lot of points. However, I can't get caught like by the first light because the lights are actually worth more points if you're not caught. So there's a very particular light you want to get caught by.
Just a reminder, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse is the bonus game for today, and it is only $61 away from meeting its goal.
Nice.
The route for the points run used to be quite different.
That's right. The points run used to be Corneria, Medio, Katina, Sector X, Macbeth, Area 6, Venom, and typically it was played on main game. Another distinction is I'm doing this like single segment sort of. A lot of score runners do basically individual levels, and they perfect everything, like they never miss anything or any shots.
I hear you.
And they're highly, highly optimized.
Look out for the searchlight!
Take them all out.
We have a $50 donation from Naomi Uyama. She says, "I'm proud of you, Mike. Good luck with the rest of the marathon. Your sis, Naomi."
We're closing in on them, Falco.
So ideally what I want to do is I want to charge shot these lights before Cat actually shoots them. And you get 1 point every time you successfully do it. I missed that one, but there's actually like 3 of them that are incredibly difficult later on.
Hey, what's the big idea? Whoa! Watch out! I've got somebody on my pad.
Okay, I got one of them.
Aim for the rudder box.
We have a $2,000 donation from Raphael.
Wow.
The entire Germansch community thanks all the organizers of AGDQ. You do an amazing job. The French community thanks all the organizers for the French restream, and also special thanks to the German restream that has hosted us during our problem. Keep up the good work. Guys, you are great, and now feel the French Roumel.
So if you guys didn't catch it earlier, he did miss the searchlight here, which does spawn more enemies, like we said earlier. which really helps out in the long run for like an optimal amount of points for this level. As you can see, he's already gotten the medal for this area, and it's just going to keep going up. Zonus is one of the very few areas where it's very, very easy to get a very, very high score here.
One other thing about getting medals, if you lose one of your teammates at all on any stage, you don't get the medal for that stage.
Yep.
And they don't come back on the next stage either. So that's 2 stages you can lose the medal on if they crash or whatever happens.
No, that doesn't happen.
For those interested in speedrunning this game, in the any percent category of this game, we do kill Slippy. So yes, we kill Slippy in any percent. So if you guys want to kill Slippy, run this game. And if you guys really like Star Fox, make sure you guys follow Zalad1. He is really good.
We have a $20 donation from James. Can't let you do that, Cancer. STA has ordered us to take you down. Thank you, James.
An interesting part about this boss is if you boost into this area and then go into cockpit mode and look away from the screen, you can potentially soft lock here. We won't be doing it, obviously, but you can soft lock. Whoa!
I think you missed. So, what I could do here is I could shoot the middle section, which actually kills both of the pipes in 2 bombs instead of the typical 4. And if I shoot a bomb here and break and go to the top of the screen, I kill it in 1 shot instead of like 3 or so. Just gonna get a couple bombs. This is like the easiest place to get some bombs.
All aircraft report.
High score runs for single segmenting, especially given how few scores you are.
Yeah, all right. So in these stages like this, especially where you get a really high score, check out how many lives I get. I should be getting a lot. So it gives you 1 life per 100. So if I wanted to retry this course, I could totally do that. I could just press start, down, A, and I'd be, going into Zonus again. So you could kind of segment it. You could segment this run by not only by planet, but by checkpoint, because if you cross the checkpoint with a certain score and then kill yourself after, you go back to the checkpoint with that score. So that's another thing. So in Macbeth, I'm a landmaster, and there are a couple of gameplay differences. Other than, the obvious you can't fly. But I can't unlock my charges with RNC anymore because that's actually the combination for hover. So what I gotta do is I gotta fire my charges really fast before they lock onto anything. So I'm gonna hit this pole a couple of times because the train throws these rocks out. It gives me a little bit more time to get points off of them.
They actually throw those rocks in random spots too. So
Yeah, the patterns are totally random. You can get anywhere from like 1 to 5 points for all of those little turrets on the tracks, like the one on this one. If you see a hit +2 on there, that means I got the full 5. Nice. All right.
Is that any way to greet a girl?
So coming up, I'm gonna go up a slope, but the camera's not gonna really know what to do. So it's gonna orient itself in a really strange way such that I can fire charges at the slope, like it's a series of walls now. I'm not sure why that is, but it's really helpful because I get all these points off these rocks now. Okay, cool. I got on the tracks. So what that does is Slippy gets chased by extra enemies that you usually don't see unless you get up there. It's really difficult to get up there, by the way. Uh-oh. Good thing I have a bunch of bombs. So I'm gonna hit this wall a little bit just because I want extra space from the train. It's gonna go ahead and shoot a bunch of rocks off of a cliff. And I'm gonna get a bunch of points off of those too. All right, cool. As long as I can kill the gas tank on the train, I can get like all the points. That bomb wasn't close enough to that little tray to get the extra point. It's fine though. It's a pretty good checkpoint regardless.
We have a $20 donation from DSX. First time watching the marathon live, and I'm loving every minute. This is my third donation so far. Star Fox hyped. Shoutouts to Scott J Program and Zallard1. Everyone should give them a follow. You guys are awesome. I will donate $100 if Zallard gets 700 hits on Area 6.
Thank you, based DSX.
Thanks, DSX. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I've been trying really hard.
Shout out to DSX. Make sure you guys all follow him. He currently has the world record for any percent in this category, in this game rather. So if you guys want to see someone kill Slippy as fast as humanly possible, which you all should, I mean, why wouldn't you? Go watch DSX Challenger. Great guy.
Okay, just want to make a quick announcement. The X-Men Mutant Apocalypse bonus game has been met, so it's going to be right after the Super Meat Boy race and right before Donkey Kong 64.
Nice.
Explain the law.
So this boss, if you hit the 8 switches, you can pretty much run the train into its own base.
Which gives you a hit plus 50.
Yeah, a hit plus 50, which that by itself isn't really great, but going to Area 6 is. You can actually technically get more points if you don't hit the switches, because all of the enemies actually count while you're fighting the boss. And there's actually a reason for that, because if you go too far, there are these markers throughout the stage when you're fighting the boss, 100 to 500. Shortly after you reach 500, there's a giant building. If you approach it, then the boss says like, time to end this, and then he like kamikazes into your ship with the greatest accuracy and instantly kills you. What's even more interesting is if you have the a Game Shark cheat on where you have like infinite health. What it does then is it's so accurate at tracking you, it hits you, scoops you up, and then it bounces you all the way up until the game crashes.
It's actually damaging you every frame, too.
Yeah, it does so much damage that like it's staggering from like full to dead like a lot, really fast. It's So yeah, the next stage is Area 6, and I'm probably not going to talk too much through it because it's pretty, it's got enemies everywhere. It's got the highest metal in the game, which is 300. Typically the metal has been about 150, the exception being Zonus, which was 250. But this is 300. And on average, I've been getting like double the metal, so.
So we have a
should see
$25
600.
donation from Matthew. I will double this if Zallard gets 650 on Area 6. I will triple this if Zallard gets 600 or 700 hits on Area 6.
All right.
No pressure,
All right.
Zallard. So Area 6 is one of the most interesting areas for score in this game. It's by far one of the coolest areas for score. And you guys are going to see some really cool tricks here as well. So as you can see, he's not even like, what, 20 seconds in the level and he's already broken 100 hits.
They probably won't see the hit counter stop going up.
Yeah.
We have a $20 donation from DJ Foreclosure. Couldn't help giving my first donation during the Star Fox 64 run because my friends and family and I literally know this entire script by heart. Classic literature at its finest.
He doesn't answer the call from Rob there because he'll assist you on some of these ships and he shoots them and you don't get points for him.
Yeah, Rob's not very good at killing enemies.
We have a $20 donation from Seth R. Thank you so much for doing this. The runs are great and the cause is greater. Keep up the good work.
Did we get them? Not yet, sir. They're on me. I'm getting careless.
We have a $20 anonymous donation. Hello everyone, just wanted to thank you all for the wonderful runs for a great cause. Huge shout out to everyone that made this charity marathon a giant success, including the viewers who advertised it to their friends. We have a $20 donation from Wild Conjecture. Put this towards the secret Slippy is actually Andros ending.
They broke it through the first line.
He just got to the checkpoint, he's already way over the metal.
We're gonna break through that fleet. Get through the second line. Fire! Fire! Don't let them go!
We have an anonymous $150 donation. Greetings all. Great to finally watch AGDQ live. I've watched all the VODs for the previous AGDQ and SGDQ, but never had a chance to donate live. Best wishes to all the runners. I say kill all the animals. We have a $20 donation from Ryan. My family has been hurt by cancer, so here's $20 to help hurt cancer. Love AGDQ and the runners involved for supporting a great cause while crushing some of my favorite games growing up. Cheers.
So I didn't quite get to 700, but I think that'll do.
So the weird thing about this boss is ideally you want to one-cycle these things, but it's really, really finicky to get this consistently. Sometimes when you're attacking the tentacles, when you go to attack the third one or even the second one, the hitbox will just go nope, and you'll just stop attacking it, and the hitbox won't register that you're like shooting at it. And so then you'll have to do a 2-cycle or possibly sometimes a 3-cycle.
What seems to happen is there seems to be like a timer when you kill the first one that starts, and it's a really short one. So you need to kill the other two really fast after you kill the first one. Like that.
Destroy all 3 energy balls. The key to the top. Shoot the core.
So the next stage, I can actually get a couple more points off of Starwolf by shooting charge shots at him, but this is like the only spot in the run where it feels like you're farming points. So I think to make a compromise and, you know, for the consideration of the schedule, I'm gonna switch sort of to speedrun mode and just kill them fast. So, yeah, Starwolf can be really random. They could do one of two things if you attempt, well actually 3, if you attempt to shoot at them. They can either do a somersault, a U-turn, or just roll. So hopefully I want them to just barrel roll like constantly. Someone started rolling, so they're dead.
We'll make sure you never repay a drug. We'll just see about that, Star Wolf. You guys don't give up.
There you are.
That's all you got. Take care of the guy behind me, boss. No way. I don't believe it. This can't be happening.
I'm trying.
Yeah, please don't software.
Okay.
Going along from here.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So if you're at the worst spot possible, there's a couple of spots if you end that fight on where Fox will just constantly circle around the dome forever and the game's over. I really didn't want that to happen though. Sometimes you kind of just don't have any control over it. Yes. It's actually, you can actually get a higher score on the easy route, believe it or not.
He's going to do a really interesting quick kill after this phase, involving the bomb and a somersault.
I just like doing that, I don't know.
So, Andros, you show your true form.
So if you shoot the brain like 5 or so times, then it wants to teleport behind you. So he's got like 1 or 2 hit points left or something silly. Yeah. So we died. I'm sorry. The run's over.
Don't ever give up, my
Maybe not.
father.
So you can get over 227 for this stage, but
Follow me, boss.
I don't know. I think that was fitting for this being a speedrun marathon and whatnot. So you're following James out, but you can't actually shoot him down. People have tried, and it just can't be done. I don't know, he just, maybe a ghost or something, I don't know.
Too spooky.
Never give up. Trust your instincts.
So yeah, that was high score. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's kind of strange to do a score run at a speedrunning marathon, but I don't know. Hopefully, it was entertaining.
Definitely was.
So there are a couple of people I want to thank. The history behind the scoring community is kind of interesting. So as I mentioned earlier, you can, or the score was different. Actually, you mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
It was a different route. So the reason why it changed is because there was a Japanese scoring community for this game, but they kind of didn't communicate with the English community. So I started scoring this game, and then I was wondering why no one, looked into it. So I went to their forum, and I asked them, but I asked them in English, and it's a Japanese forum. So the first response was just ha ha ha, is the foreigner, and then after several posts like that, then there was a tasser by the name of Nango-san who made a task of Aquas. Aquas was the stage that really didn't look right to us because we didn't know anything about the clams or the pillars. The record without knowing that was 280 or so. But that completely opened us up to the newer strats. So shout outs to Nango-san and then the Japanese community. Also, I want to thank all the people that I learned stuff from this game. I might butcher the pronunciation of these names, so sorry if I do. Dmitry Jarwa, he is one of the first guys I saw run this. He's a really good German player. And Winfried Mertes is also another really good one. He's the first one I saw do the trick in Corneria where I got both the items. Bros, he was a good score runner too. It's really good that he found that easier way to clip through that rock. That's really helpful. Stephen Brown is also another really good score runner. He's actually known as IngX24. Some of you may know him by chance. He did some runs of Zelda, I think. A couple Zelda games. I can't recall which ones though. And then there's Thomas Potter. He's a really, really good runner from the UK. He has the record on Aquas right now, and the record is 450 something, which is insane. You have to have really precise braking and positioning and mashing. You have to have it all to get a score like that. And there's also the Brazilian players. Alan Mathias is a really good player. He has the record in Corneria. I believe it's in the 370s, if I'm not mistaken, which he's the only one who's gotten a score that high in that stage. And there's actually a new score runner by the name of Cow Nintendo 2. He's a really good runner. He found a bunch of new strats, actually, in a couple of spots. He found one, well, he more refined another one for bowls. You can start a chain reaction on bowls that there's like a central point where enemies spawn from, and if you kill an enemy with a bomb, this is my guess as to what's going on, but I think it starts a chain reaction where the dead ship hits the new ship that spawns, and it keeps like doing that over and over and over again until you get a ridiculous score. Like, I think the record is like 450 something now. It used to be like less than 400. And he also found that it's feasible to do the Sector X strats for the tasks in real time, which is you go left instead of right at the fork. And there's actually like a warp for Sector X to Sector Z, but it's way easier to get a lot of points the other route. But he got so good at the distance of his charge shots that he was able to get so many more points. So he's a really cool, interesting runner. And I'm glad that people are still like running this game somewhat. It's kind of died down because, I don't know, the competition kind of reached a certain point where it's just way too hard to improve. So yeah. There's actually a glitch there's one more glitch that's going to happen that I want to show before I end this. But yeah, I do hope that this was a really good run to a lot of people. So. So this game has a really odd problem with the way it ranks scores. So I'm running this on the 1.0 cart, which is the cart that was packaged with the Rumble Pack. And that cart, you can actually do, you can get a score over 511 on any planet. So somehow I got first on this cart. This is my best score supposedly, but I don't think so. So area 6, I got 668, right? Well, that's just too high. That's just too high to handle. So it subtracts 256 from it. So that's not it though, because so second place is a higher score than first place. And then so is third. And then it goes down. And then it So the way it ranks it is, it looks at the highest ranked score that it would beat and puts it above that, and then subtracts. It doesn't care what happens after. So my scoreboard's just an incomprehensible mess, and that's the end of it.
Thank you, Zalad, for that amazing Star Fox 64 high score run. Coming up next should be Super Meat Boy, 80%, a race between iMystics and Vorpal.
Okay. After that, can you announce that the stream is going to go down briefly, and we will hopefully be back up in a couple minutes.
Okay, the commercial's running right now.
Stay
All right, just to let everyone know, we are going to shut down the stream for a brief moment. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I'm blocking